Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we have a very interesting car, Fiat X1, a little 2 seats rear engine sports car that was designed by the same guy who created the Holy Grails Lamborghini Miura and Lamborghini Countach, Marcello Gandini. On that time he was working for Bertone, that's why you can see the badges Bertone on the car, the same as on Lamborghini Countach, Diablo and many other. This car was presented in 1972. But the development starts in 1969, so almost the same time as the Lamborghini Countach. Was the time of weight-shaped designed cars. Almost every sports car was with this very popular for the time design. The car was intended to replace the other great Fiat model, the 850 Spider, again designed by Bertone. These small, cheap sports cars with 2 seats and rear engine were very popular back on the day. Probably this was the way to look rich or at least little bit rich and to drive a real sports car. The fact that Fiat sold 160,000 of these cars is the proof that this car was extremely popular and many people wanted. Actually, Fiat sold 140,500 Fiat X1 from 1972 to 1982. But then, from 1982 to 1989, the car was for sale as a Bertone X1, and they made 19,500 of these. They just didn't want to stop the production because the dealers constantly were asking for this car. On the end, stays in production for 17 years, 1972-1989. Again, very similar like Lamborghini Countach. Imagine how popular and loved Fiat X1 was. This popularity probably is coming from the mid-engine layout. And in fact, this was the first ever affordable mid-engine car. Back on that time, the mid-engine was the most exotic thing you can have on your car. Don't forget, early 1960s, the Formula 1 cars were still front-engined. Then they changed to mid-engine position for better balance and performance. Of course, the technology from Formula 1 always later we see on the road going cars. So the first road cars with mid-engine layout arrived in middle 1960s. Cars like Ferrari 206 GT Dino, Lamborghini Miura, and as we said earlier, this was the most exotic innovation. But these cars were extremely expensive and not for everyone. So in late 1960s, Fiat came with the idea to build very cheap, or let's say affordable, mid-engine car, Fiat X1. This is a gem of an affordable small sports car that was far ahead of its time. But because we're gonna talk about history of this very successful car, we have to mention something very important. There is a rumor that Fiat didn't want to build that car at all. When Bertone built the prototype X1 runabout in 1969, they presented to Fiat. But for Fiat, this prototype was so extreme and they said this car will not be success. But somehow Bertone managed to convince Agnelli, who said okay, but build in your own factory. Bertone began to build the X1 with the Fiat badge and Fiat 1.3 liter engine from the model Fiat 128, we're gonna talk about this later, and the car began absolute success, especially later on the American market, with more than 65% sold behind the Atlantic. And finally, Fiat was very happy, with more than 160,000 cars were built. Because the American market is very strict, safety-wise, the X1 was built originally with a row bar in the C-pillar, which makes the car very rigid even without roof. All the X1 are with removable Targa roof panel which you can put in the front boot, so it's a Targa type car, not a convertible. Many people saying a convertible, but in the reality it's a Targa open roof, which was great enough for the sunny Californian state or Italian or French Riviera. With a curb weight approximately 900 kilograms, this little sports car is a big fun to drive. Not only the curb weight, the whole character of the car is sporty, with a bit hard suspension, sleek design and enough powerful engine. Early examples, 1970-1978, are equipped with 4-cylinder inline 1.3 liter 1290cc belt-driven single overhead camshaft 2 valves per cylinder engine from Fiat 128 Rally, producing 75 horsepower. In Fiat 128 was front transversely mounted and front-wheel drive, while in Fiat X1 was the same but behind the 2 seats and moving the rear wheels. Many other parts being used from Fiat 128 like the front and rear independent suspension, the all-corner disc brakes and many others. The real deal came in early 1979 when the 1.3-liter engine was swapped with 1.5-liter unit, 1498 cc. The same conception with 2 valves per cylinder, but this time producing 85 horsepower, which makes the car performance better. Don't forget the Fiat sound from that time, 1960s, 1970s, even 1980s, was amazing, nothing with today's combustion engines Fiat. Also, on that time, the 4-speed manual gearbox was replaced by 5-speed, which as well improved the economy. We mentioned economy, but all the European variants were equipped with Weber 32 or 34 carburetors, while the American versions, they were with Bosch Jetronic fuel injection. The maximum speed of the early 1.3-liter cars is 106 miles per hour or 170 kilometers per hour, and the 1.5-liter cars, the later cars, the maximum speed is 115 miles per hour or 185 kilometers per hour. The car is really very small, is long just 3 meter 830 millimeters, or a little bit more, depends from the bumpers, 1 meter 570 millimeters wide, and just 1 meter 170 millimeters high. The wheelbase 2.2 meters, which makes the car extremely nimble. Even Fiat decided to make the X19 the main Fiat rally car. They start to prepare the car, but on the end they change in favor of the very new Fiat 131 model, which later will become 2 times rally world champion. On the same time, Lancia Stratos was a winning rally car as well, but who knows, if the X19 was a world rally car, the results could be different. Anyway, they made some rally cars as well, Fiat X19, but not for the World Rally Championship. Because, as we mentioned, was designed not by someone else but from the designer of Lamborghini Miura and Lancia Stratos, the great maestro Marcello Gandini from Bertone. The conception of the X19 is very similar to Lamborghini Miura, for example. The package of the car is so cleverly made. 2 seats, but lots of cargo space behind the seats, in the front, let's say, boot, and in the back boot, because the engine is just behind the seats, transversely mounted, together with the gearbox and the differential, like in the Miura. So for early 1970s, Fiat X19 was absolutely bonkers car for everyone, cheap, crazy and remarkable. Interior-wise was very modern as well. The dashboard is divided into rectangles with its circular instruments, the very classic Fiat buttons and switches. The materials are very classy as well, the quality is great even for the today's standard. All the corners are nicely finished, very smooth, and you have everything what you need. But not unnecessarily stuff. Nice sporty steering wheel with amazing feeling. You can find the same in the prototype Lamborghini Marso. The gear lever or the gear knob is very close to the steering wheel, again very nice, sporty feeling. The visibility is great, so what more you need? Combined with the sporty bucket seats and the sporty setup suspension, the Fiat X19 is a gem, little lightweight car with enough power to make you smile all the time you are behind the wheel. The Fiat X19 is a true icon of the 1970s and 80s that was designed by Marcello Gandini, or let's say Bertone, with very distinctive weight shape and removable Targa lightweight roof panel, which you can place in the front boot. It can be removed very easy and quickly, just one person need. I can see many super and even hypercars today, like Koenigsegg for example, still using this technique, absolutely manual to save weight, which transforms the car to different level and offers a perfect balance between the sportiness and driving pleasure. It's a compact, beautiful, elegant, unmistakable design, very distinctive and original, and with timeless vintage charm. Still today, this car is a head turner and is capable of standing out wherever you go. Very interesting fact is that The Fiat X1 remains to this day the only mid-engine Fiat. How about that? They have many rear-engine cars, but not another mid-engine. I think Fiat need to come with something similar very soon. I mean the same concept, because this model was once so popular, and if now they came with something to replace or successor, definitely will be great success again. Many people back on the day were calling the car a baby Ferrari, and there was a reason for that. First is a mid-engine, only 2 seats, a removable roof, pop-up lights, weight shape, and on the end is a Fiat, the father of Ferrari. Imagine if it's red. Proper baby Ferrari. Then the engine 1.3 liter, later versions after 1978, 1.5 liter, 4-cylinder inline, so exactly half of the very popular for 1970s and 1980s Ferrari V8 3-liter used on the Ferrari 308 GTB and GTS, where S stands for Spider or removable targa roof, the same as in X19, or the same half engine like in the other cousin Ferrari 308 GT4, which was designed again by Bertone. So on the end we have to say that this car deserves to be considered as a baby Ferrari. But not only the design and the engine was good, the balance of this car is amazing. The car just stays on the road even with high speed, and it's very stable, like you driving on rails. So the drivers of these cars been enjoying every mile with on the road. The engines, no matter 1.3 or 1.5 liter, are extremely robust and reliable. They just going and going. And in combination with the sound from the exhaust, the joy is absolutely crazy. I can say still today to drive this car is a fun. We know by today's standard the car is not fast, but every sound and noise from the engine, from the exhaust and the road, and because the car is very small in size and short wheelbase, you feel the car very fast, especially with open roof on some nice B-road with many curves. As a standard, originally Fiat X1 came with 4.5 by 13 inch in diameter steel wheels with tires 145/13. The alloy wheels were option, but again 13 inch. We mentioned in the beginning the X1 was produced from 1972 to 1982 as a Fiat, respectively with Fiat badges, but from 1983 to the end of the production was offered as a Bertone X1, but the people like more the original early versions, because the later ones, they have bigger bumpers, different wheels and some other differences in the design, which makes the car a bit heavy. Early cars are much more beautiful, looked very fine, every detail is like a piece of art, especially the small steel bumpers with large rubber blocks. Very stylish, iconic and affordable mid-engine Fiat, which become collectible today. The prices are in very big range from 5,000 to 25,000, depends from the condition. But to add some nice example to your collection will be great. Like every other Italian car from that period, the cars are suffering from a rust problem. That's why many of them just disappeared. Nowadays, the existing examples are most in good condition, so if you want to buy one, just have a look at the market. Guys, I hope you liked the video about this very special Italian Fiat X1. If you like, please subscribe the channel and see you next time. Bye!